What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Welcome to another Monday edition of your show. My name is Gary, and we are having a Monday like people tend to do, and we want to make that Monday better by bringing on our first guest who's been waiting so patiently, and we have no idea how this is going to go. So I got my main man Noah, aka the Phenom, in the booth, filling in today as a sickness is rolling through the team, and we're going to see if we got this set up. We scrambled. We tried real hard. So without further ado, Noah, the Phenom, let's see if we can get this Zoom up and running with our very good friend from the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. Her name is Laurie O'Connor. Laurie, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
I can. I can't. You know what? I do know why this worked, because every single time I talk to you, good things happen. That's what it is. And just to see your face and to have you come through is such an absolute honor and pleasure to have you join the show. And your good luck just keeps rolling. So thank you very, very much for giving us a couple minutes today. How you doing, my bestie?
I am so good. Happy belated birthday. I know it's a couple of weeks ago. I'm glad I got to say it on the old social media.
Yeah.
And this show looks like so much fun.
Well, again, when I've been talking with your team, and you know what? That's another thing. Every time I say again, I put check marks down on my list up in this corner, and those are going to be donations for the citywide food drive going on right now with the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. And I think we're up to like I think we're doing $10 per donation, up to like $50 already. So I got my little donation that's going to be climbing as we continue to promote the importance of what's going on. And to you and your team, you know how much I love you guys. You're all amazing, and you work so dang hard. So anytime we can help out, we're always happy to. And I saw in one of our emails about getting barrels, these big barrels that you bring into the place and start filling up. That was sort of the big push to start off. Is that correct?
Yes. So, typically we would go one day on May and do a big push. And really, since COVID, we decided let's go the whole month.
Yes.
And get as much food as we can in the door. And so it's a really great way to support the food bank. Those forms to get your barrel to your organization are on our website, saskatoonfoodbank.org. And so we'll deliver you a blue barrel. You and your coworkers fill it up, and then we'll come and pick it up.
And, we talk about how every time I see you, good things happen. And that's not just by coincidence, because all the work that you guys do, I don't want to say underappreciated, because people by now, I hope, know how hard you guys work on stuff like this. But the importance of, like you said, not just a day, to commit a whole month to push, that's during the most busy times, I imagine, of the year. And when that's happening, and just through the old job and all the work we've done together, I'm always around it and I see it, and I just want to make sure everyone else understands how hard you guys work. And with these barrels, that's one easy way, but as well, monetary donations, which is what I'm doing right now. And we're also trying to help the team here by me not using my crutches when I say again. I'll write that one down there. That's going to be 2 already. So maybe talk a bit about the importance of the monetary donations along with all of the food that needs to be collected to, again, make a difference in the city.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's easier, just to go to our website again, saskatoonfoodbank.org. You'll see a big page donated to the citywide food drive. What we really use those funds for that are donated during this month is to purchase foods that might not have come through the door. So May is a really important month because we really are starting to run low on all of those staples that we would put into the hampers. So things that folks would have been thinking about donating maybe over the holiday season or over the last few months, those are really starting to run low here. So things like hearty soups and stews or cereal, pasta and sauce, all the things that can make a really nutritious meal for folks. It's important for us to be able to ensure that we have those things to go into the food hampers. And so sometimes we have to purchase them. So we're always rolling up our sleeves and finding the best deals out there and then doing that bulk purchasing.
Yes, and another big thing that's been sort of, I guess, front of mind with me since I've started doing stuff with you guys is the number, and we've touched on it a couple times as we've been talking about this, but the number of like children and kids and the need for formula and that sort of thing. I don't have the stats in front of me, but can you maybe just let everyone know it's like it's a very serious thing, and as the world continues to be the world, it keeps growing, and if you guys don't have enough to help out, it's really a serious situation, isn't it?
It is for sure. Unfortunately, we have a real stubborn and terrible child poverty problem in this province. And we definitely see those numbers here as well. Uh, we're serving probably around 23,000 folks in a month. And 40% of those requests are made on behalf of children. So that's a lot of kids who are in families who need some help. And so, we're really trying hard to ensure that we have good food for them, including, as you say, formula and baby food, because a large percentage of those children are also children under the age of 1.
And yeah, this whole place, and you say how much fun it looks in here, and it is so much fun, but we also, with these connections that I've made over sort of my career, we become involved in these, not that others aren't as important, but these things that you become a part of, you get really passionate about it. And I'm a firm believer in, we built this place to make a difference and to do good things. And if we're ever not doing that, I feel like we're failing everybody. So anytime we can get you on here to talk about these things, I'm so grateful for you to give us some of that time, because I know how busy you are as well. And it means so much to us. So we'll let you get back to it. I just wanted to say thank you to you and to Deb and the whole team over there for all that you guys do. And I'm hoping maybe this Thursday we might be able to get you in studio. I could maybe show you the VIP tour and we can get you in the chair over here.
Yeah. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you talking about and supporting the work we do, Gary, as always. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on Thursday.
I got a real big hug ready for you like we always do, and hopefully there'll be no tears this time. That's the other thing. Every time I see you, the tears start to flow, and I am always trying to figure out new ways to introduce you, but I think Best Friend in the World is a pretty good one that might stick around. So you take care. Say hi to everyone over there from us, and we will reconnect on Thursday. We'll get you in here, and we'll show you around.
Awesome. Have a great day. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Laurie. Hey, Laurie O'Connor, Executive Director of the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. The best in the biz right there. Man, I love that woman so much. And, we talk about karma and we do this whole thing, and I've been told, you know what, Gary, you talk a little bit too much about wanting to do good and wanting to do this, but when you can show what you're doing, it means so much. I'm going to throw one more in here. Again, SaskatoonFoodBank.org. That was a $30 donation right there. I love that. Is where you can go, and they have it all laid out real easy for you. It's just a big page, says Citywide Food Drive, and all the information you need to make those monetary donations to figure out the most needed things for them, as well as getting those barrels into your offices, because you do that and then people sort of rally around it and you say, oh yeah, that's a donation. I should make a donation. And then when you're out buying stuff, you get 2 for 1, you throw it in, and off you go. Oh, I love Lori. They're such a good team over there. Now, to get to a little bit of business around here, we would like to say hello to Margaret. How about a mega cam? Look at her go. Yes, always cleaning. Margaret, look up. Yeah, smart girl, as she is just the cutest. The Maggie Cam for our good friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. She is just a cutie pie. Mike and Rochelle and the whole team over there, Kirsten, Shar, Chris, always treating you so dang well. And that's another sort of theme you'll notice around here, is anyone that we sort of bring on board or want to bring on board aren't just businesses looking for money. just trying to do, just trying to make it. They also want to help out and do good things. So people like our good friends at Pet Plant on 8th Street, your Pet's Natural Grocer, are a huge part of that. And we always, always appreciate that. As Maggie continues to groom, now she's going to get sneezies right away. So we better lift her off and bring her back up to camera 3. The Phenom. I'm going to give you some props today, dude. You crushed it. This is like your 3rd solo show, and you came in last minute because LB is under the weather like most other people. And we scrambled, and I was like, we got to get Lori on. We got to get Lori on. And inside, I'm always freaking out, but I know like a good leader never shows that they're freaking out, but I don't think I hit it very well. So thank you for calming me down as you continue to be you. Whew. Now let's bring in the guy that grades all of our shows, the one in charge of everything, Mr. Program Director. We used to say we hate this guy, but he's sort of growing on us as he continues to grow with us, which is kind of cool. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have a huge live studio audience today, Network Ryan's in the house. Give it up for Network Ryan.
Oh. I was going to start clapping.
Is that a self high five?
I was going to start clapping.
What's that? DDP, self high five. That was almost synchro. That was great.
It's like we've done it before.
Man, I love it. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, very good. The weather has started to cooperate. I don't want to be the guy that comes on and says, hey, we got nothing to talk about. Let's talk about the weather. But man, has it been nice. I know it's nice when my wife's complaining about all the allergies. That's what I know it's nice out.
It's so nice that I can't see her breathe.
Yeah, for sure.
That's always good. Hey, how cool is Lori?
So fun.
Right?
So fun. And you know what? I wanted to come on and say, man, I'm a stats guy. You know, I love stats.
Yes.
That's why I love baseball. That's why I love gaming.
Yep.
But man alive, when you hear that so many kids under the age of 1 just in our city, and being a dad is like, man, I can imagine like what parents are going through and what moms would be going through if they're worried about not only where their food's coming from, but where their kids' food's coming from, right? Like, man, and grandmas and grandpas and stuff.
That's been the thing that's always hit home with me and the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. Because you hear it all the time, because the news is always talking about it, and everyone does their part to push it, but it never really hits home until you're sort of involved in a certain way. And once you do that, you're like all in. So I've just been all in with these people. They're such amazing human beings.
That's why exposure to things like that is so important, right?
Yes,
as a community, and to get exposure to that kind of stuff for our own kids when they're at school, to build that kind of community recognition and that empathy. We can air quotes build that right into our kids and our curriculum and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, and when you see and you're in it, you realize it's not just with them, but in the world that we're living in today. The demand keeps growing and growing because life just keeps getting harder and harder. And even like the people that do dig deep and help out, it's not as easy for them to do it like it was even a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So to find different ways to help out. Maybe you don't have the monetary ways, but you can set up a barrel at your shop and say, hey guys, look, like this is what we're doing. Let's fill this thing up. And they just come and pick it up and off you go. And it's so easy to sign up with. And we say it all the time. If you do good things will start happening to you. And that's the only way we're going to make the world a better place.
I got an idea how to do some evil to do good.
Ooh, I like this.
We'll put the screws to all our business partners and friends in the local community and say, hey, you want to be partnered with DAM? Put a food barrel at your business or else.
That's it. Or else we'll fill it up for you.
Yeah.
We'll come over with groceries.
Idle threats. Yeah, totally.
And I got my donation counter. I think we're at 60 now.
60
total dollars. I'm doing $10
agains?
per crutch. Yeah.
60 again?
No, a $10 per again. Let's make that 70.
Well, okay, that's the update on the again counter.
Yes.
I've got a little DAM update.
Here we go.
That I'm excited about. I want to come on here maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, because the studio is growing and the team is growing and the network is growing. We're bringing on new shows and creators and stuff. And a couple of the producers in the booth, we had our first monthly meeting last week, and they said, okay, Network Ryan, if you're going on the show, no talking about shows until we know what date they're starting.
Yes.
So I'm not going to talk about any shows that I don't have a start date for yet, because like there was almost like a group team mutiny against me. I
Yeah.
mean, why would that
That's
have
just-
ever happened?
That's
But-
just normal around here. Yep.
Yeah,
We got
I'm
the
not gonna put the
pitchforks out.
screws to the team.
Yep.
But we've got some new shelving. We've got some new sound insulation going into the booth.
So excited.
If you ever need any voiceover, acting, audio, commercials produced, anything, we now have the capability.
And not only that, the capability plus these these are expensive mics. We got the super mic in
We
there
got
that
the
we really
super
splurged
mic.
for. And we're going to be
Yeah.
soundproofing it. So we're going to be diving into all sorts of things. Like you said, commercials and voiceover. I really do want to start like voice acting. Like I think we should get like a weekly show
You got
somehow
a
where
good,
we
you
can
got a
start
good
doing
voice.
that.
Of course, you got a good voice, Ryan. You dummy. He's got a good voice. He's a radio guy. Definitely voice for radio
That's
and
it, not the
voice
face.
acting, not the
Yeah.
face, not the face.
But I like to like I can't do the high ones very well, but you know, like the old NFL films voiceovers where it's like, see if we can get there. The frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
do do do
Like stuff like
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you got-
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
so fun.
In a world
That's it.
where everybody has beards and braids, like
one,
that,
One man did not.
and it was Network Ryan.
A little patchy, but that's okay. And I understand where you're coming from though, because it's so easy to be like, oh my God, we have so much exciting stuff coming
Yeah.
down the pipe, because we literally have like a stockpile of different shows ready to roll that we just have to. And I know
Well,
we're
and
doing
that's-
exactly what
that's-
I said
that's
not
the
to
thing.
do.
They're in
Yeah.
various stages of ready. Like
Yeah.
we jumped in and things moved pretty quickly for the damn studio,
Mhm.
and I'll totally do a humble brag because I know that
Nice.
you never like to take credit for anything,
No.
and I'm not taking credit for it. But the damn network became very quickly the fastest growing multimedia studio in the province, with the subscribers and businesses wanting to get on board and
Yeah.
be part of it, and the team that we got and other creators coming to us. Like over the last 2 weeks, there was 3 new creators that came and said, hey, I have this thing, I've got this backlog of episodes and videos, how do we repurpose
get
it,
it
or
in?
how do I
Yeah.
do it on your channel now? So that's exciting. The physical stuff that's happening that I can talk about, the shelving, the sound insulation, the
Yes.
layout for the recording booth
So cool.
is all there. The electrical's in place. The lighting, the window still has a T-shirt for a curtain, but that's going to change. Like
I don't like how you guys are just taking down my interior decorating.
I hung
you
back.
know?
I hung
Thank
the
you.
Augusta
Masters
one
is
back up. You
yeah.
saw it?
Yeah. That's nice, because that's
Yeah.
probably the coolest
I
shirt we
couldn't
have.
see when I was working in there because the light, the sliver window, like the sun was shining right through the window, and I'm trying to
Blinding.
work with these black sound panels. They just look like a black hole.
It looks really cool though.
Hey, yeah, it's
I'm
gonna
very,
look good.
very excited
Yeah.
for all of that.
Yeah,
Now,
very much so.
DufferinAve.com is where we go. We're going to see if we can get it up here. Phenom, you want to toss up a DufferinAve.com?
There we
Look
go.
at that. So if you want to be like those other people who have been creating content and needing a place to show it off, or
Yep.
if you want to advertise with us, again, money is not an issue. We can do whatever you want to do. We have so many. We just put this ad pack together, which is so cool to me because it's a visual guide to let you know, hey, if this is the amount that you can spend, that's great. Then we got this for you. And you can interact with us as we continue to build. The coolest thing that popped out of that, and the reason I'm bringing this up now, is like you said, the numbers. Like I've had people who have been watching from afar, you know, silent
Yep,
people.
yep.
There's a lot of, like, I don't want to use the term like above us or like really important people, but people-
Ghosters that don't want us to know that they're watching.
yeah,
Like
like
that?
there's people like that who say, dude, just so you know, I don't know how you guys are doing it, but we're watching those numbers grow, and man, that's pretty
Hey,
damn
that's
cool.
pretty cool. That seems
You
like an
know?
update you should have gave your good friend Ryan before the show started.
I don't like to get your head too big, you know what I mean? Because you're always pushing this stuff. But these really important people who have helped me along in my career in numerous ways, just saying, dude, you're really doing it right now. Like whatever you're doing, keep doing it because
Cool.
people are watching. And the proof is in the numbers, like you said. We got all the stats right there. And you can't just go out and say we're the fastest growing, you know, whatever this is without having proof. And
Yeah,
it's
we're still
there.
not sure of that part, eh? We still don't know that part.
Well, we don't know why it's growing so much, but we're so appreciative.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
I got 2 things.
There he goes.
I got 2 things
That's a
always.
crutch. Can we count your crutches too for the Saskatoon?
No, it's not a crutch. I got 2 things for real.
Okay.
Okay, 2 things.
I'm gonna put one anyway.
First
80.
thing. First thing is whoever it is that we've ever worked with, ever interacted with, whether they be a positive, awesome person that you always remember and cherish from a previous job,
Yep.
that person helped you build this. And if you're anything like me, and I think you are, you've worked with some real scumbags, and
Never.
those people
Never.
those people are just, and maybe more, instrumental in the things that you can accomplish, man. I remember one time I had to wash my boss's dishes, like at work, and he's like, "Hey,
Come on.
hey,
No.
yeah, my boss, when I went to this big site, said, yeah, he's here to do everything. He's the guy that you can lean on for like manpower forecasting and scheduling, and he works with the team of recruiters, and he works with the project management team, all this stuff, right?" And which is all true. And my boss told the boss of this site that I was working at, he's there to do everything. And as a very type A alpha bully type boss, he said,
bully
"Hey,
move.
you're here to do everything, right? I got something for you to do. Come wash my dish." And then he took a picture of me
Hold
and
on.
sent it to my bosses. Like,
What?
oh,
That's like bully school 101, bro.
yeah. If you want to learn how to be a bully, call that guy up.
But that's, like you say, that basically teaches you what you never want to do
Yeah,
once you're in a
what
position
kind of-
where you can be like
Exactly.
that.
What
Yeah.
kind of boss, manager, team leader, or do I not want to be like? And because I didn't quit, I had this job that was so good for me, and I felt like I was making a difference at these projects. And you get through that. That guy ended up getting like forced into retirement because nobody liked him.
See, karma, man. We say it all the
and
time.
and I came through the better, and now the experience that I got at that kind of
That's the
job
one.
was some of the best work experience a person could get. I'm sure everybody at the food bank has similar type of emotional responses when
Oh,
they
yeah.
finish like a food drive and they do a really good job. They're like, "Hey, that was some of our best work that like we should build off of that." Or take the lessons learned and transform those into like a better food drive next month or next year, whatever it is, right?
And just being on top of it. And I feel so proud of this place because once we started building it and then growing it, and again, so many silent people who don't want anyone to know they are a part of this are a huge part of what's happening. And they're
Even if
they're
they
just
don't
there.
want to be.
Yeah, you know, and it's just so cool to know that you have support from important people like that tell you to keep going and tell you, you know, this is really, really cool what you're doing, because it's that sort of constant reminder to keep going.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so easy now. Like even today, just like there was a point where me being lame Gary, like the old Gary, as this is Gary version 4.0, the best I've ever been in my life.
4.0?
I've gone through 3 full life
Wow,
transitions,
the
and
$6 million Gary.
Gary 1, 2, and 3 versions all would have said, nope, you know what? Screw it. Let's just cancel the whole show. We're not going to do anything, blah, 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 and went and cried. Like that's what would have happened. But today, I just believed in the people and believed in the building. And we got an incredible interview on with one of my bestest friends who I love so, so much. And we're helping this thing. We also got Network Ryan on.
I
which
got
is
one.
Nice.
I got one.
Oh,
No,
I thought you were saying.
no. Gary 4.0
Yes.
still cries.
Oh, probably more than ever.
Oh yeah,
But,
different kind
but
of
it's
cry.
good cries.
Good
yeah,
cry.
it's
Good
like
cry.
the,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
emotional shield that I had for so long is gone. So the empathy is times 1,000.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
just,
Wow.
I had to kill a wasp the other day, and I was telling the boys I felt so bad as I was whacking them. That I'm so sorry, but I have to do this. You can't be stinging my Margaret.
I have to kill.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
just, you know, like to feel like that. Like I hadn't felt like that since I was a little kid when I used to cry because Grandma would make me murder ants in the garden.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's just
Yeah.
like a full circle type of situation.
I gotcha.
So
I gotcha.
very grateful is the point for all those people on the outside looking in and continuing to guide us in the right direction.
And-
I promise you, this is the place you want to be if you do want to make the world a better place.
Man, you actually just did it. I was gonna say, and if you want to be part of it, DufferinAve.com. You can
That's it.
contact us and get in touch. It'll be your good friend Gary that answers your questions or tells you more about the network or what opportunities exist, right?
Yeah.
And whether it be from a creation standpoint, an advertising or business standpoint, I mean, nothing's off the table and nothing's out of anybody's budget except for probably tattooing. I know we talked about that last week. Probably not going to tattoo anybody's businesses onto my face.
There he goes, already
But the whole network's-
reneging on what he promised.
The whole network's seen my whole ass.
That was
though,
funny.
so-
That was cool. Like literally the whole thing. Like might as well, you know, when you put a piece of paper up against the light and then you just shade out the
Oh, yeah.
like tracing. You could have did that for his downstairs undercarriage, and it would have been great.
Yeah.
So that
Wow.
was good.
The internet is a dangerous place, everybody.
It sure is. Speaking of businesses, Nickel Plumbing and Heating. Shout out to the gang over there. One of those places that help build this place. A great example of people just like that one. Aquaman, check that out. Just real quick, I keep talking about, do you know what underwater drones are?
Underwater drones.
How cool
I
is
can
that?
imagine what they are.
They do underwater drone inspection.
Oh.
So they can go right in and they can.
Now I can interpret that two different ways. Like I'm
Let's hear it.
inspecting a drone that is underwater, or
No.
I use a drone to inspect some other
That's the one.
third-party thing that's
Because
underwater.
They are like the operations of licensed water treatment facilities in Alberta and Saskatchewan.
That's what Aquaman does?
Yeah. It's huge. Like
that is
I always
not what we
joked about.
thought,
I
hey?
know. I thought it was just my brother-in-law D-Rock standing on top of like a waterfall with a trident, being like, "I am Aquaman." But
Yeah,
it's
and
way more than
even
that.
if he told you there was drones, like you thought they were in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm learning more as we go along, and based in Lloydminster, but they came on board because they know what we're about and they know this movement that we're trying to start.
There we go.
And they said we want to be a part of it, so they signed on for a full year, and we are just so damn proud to have them here. So again, shout out to D-Rock and my sister Stace and the whole gang over there. Oh, little Gracie and Griffey, my niece and nephew.
There you
Love
go.
them so much. They were at the lake this past weekend. So just want to make sure that people know if you're not in Saskatoon, you can still be a part of it, just like our good friends at Aquaman over in Lloydminster. Sotner Concrete Services, SCS, built this place.
Oh, we got to get them actually back in. That's on
Ooh.
my list
Here he
because the sidewalk where the new fence got put in needs an access point because there's only mulch right there for Maggie.
Mhm.
We need a sidewalk so the entire yard can be accessible. We've got the double opening doors. We got the big door here.
It's
We got the ramps on the go.
the speed that this place is growing at.
Dude, I want to go faster. Let's
Like,
go. Come on.
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on.
Again, old Gary versions 1, 2, or 3 would have left this forever. None of this would be done. So this is when I talk about your value and the importance of you here. Is you're the guy that, again, Gary wrangles me. Like, dude, do this. Get on that. Do this. And to the point where I don't even think about it anymore. I just put my head down and do it because if I do think it, I'll overthink it, and then I'll just go in circles.
This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to like fast track all of the Gary
Oh no, I don't like this.
the
I
Gary
already don't like
wrangling.
this.
I'm gonna streamline it. I'm gonna book all this stuff,
Oh,
for
already
it
scaring
all
me.
to happen this week,
No.
Thursday,
Ugh.
Friday,
Ugh.
even Saturday,
No.
Sunday,
No.
and then I'm gonna bounce and go to Vancouver.
You are the king of segues. I thought I was with my Segway license. Shout out to Johnny Factoid, who was there at West Edmonton Mall with me when we got our Segway licenses. Boy, oh boy, you got a weekend coming up. You
I
and
got a
Uncle
weekend
Brando, dude. Tell us about CCO and the big convention going on in Vancouver.
Well, okay, couple things.
Maybe it is. I'm counting that one. Sorry, that's a check mark for my good friend Ryan.
I'm very much considering whether or not I should go to the Oilers and Canucks game
Why is that a consideration? Why
Well,
aren't you just doing it?
because money.
What? Hold on. What if we make it a work trip and we can have you reporting live from Rogers Arena?
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Why? Because we
Be-
don't have a media pass.
Yes.
Well, we're a media.
Well,
Give
what
us a
about
pass.
what about your good friend Ryan getting kicked out of Oiler games forever? This is
Okay, I didn't
important.
think- well, how often are you going to be going to games in Vancouver? That's like, they shouldn't even be there right now, right?
Well, they.
As I go like this because they just won another game.
Yeah, they just won and they're out of contention of being swept.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. Who am I kidding? Yes, I want to go, but tickets like back row nosebleed are
Yeah, I
about
didn't-
500.
So you did look into those.
Yeah. Actually, my good friend Brad, Rusty Trom Jones.
Oh, I love the names.
Yes,
Okay,
Rusty
we'll
Trom
get to that.
Jones.
We'll get to that.
He looked into that.
So, CCO Nation and Commander Cookout is what CCO stands for.
I don't even have it. This is like the first
First
time
time
I've
you're
ever
not- yeah,
not worn a
that's-
CCO shirt while I'm in this building.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
But when we look at the CCO and I talk about the reason I wanted to bring you and Uncle Brando into this thing
Yep.
was because you were the only people that I know, like personally, who have been successful doing what we're trying to do. And I mean to the point of like, what, you guys crossed over 8,000 subs recently, didn't you? Damn near? Like, you're getting-
Yeah,
Your
way
numbers
over.
are
Yep.
nuts.
Yep.
So to see you grow like that and to have a nation like the CCO Nation, dude, the names, again, I'm producer Gary
I'll
on the
give it-
Saturdays when we do this.
Yeah.
And
I'll give a quick
the
summation.
names are incredible.
So we start, and I think we've talked about it a little bit on the show. I've been on a couple times now. Commander Cookout started in 2016. Brando and I started to plan this show
Yes.
on Magic the Gathering, right? And there was through like 2013 to 2016, there was a little bit of a podcasting boom as digital media really became a digestible kind of way for people to do their commutes and listen to when they work out and all the stuff, right?
Yes.
And we got in at the end of that, and we're just a couple Canadian dudes, so we're geographically pretty diverse from a lot of the other big creators in the States, right? But because we were Canadian, we got more downloads off of like IP addresses or whatever that are based in Canada. So we became kind of the Western Canadian, and people latched onto the accents right away.
The goons from Saskatoon.
The goons from Saskatoon,
Yes.
the Fubar of Magic the Gathering, Letterkenny of Magic Podcasts. Like all
Totally.
of these things are what we got called. So we started to lay into it a little bit
Yes,
more,
you
and
did.
we developed what we call the Commander Cookout Experience,
Yes.
the CCO experience. And now it's grown. I'll talk about that in a second, but now it's grown to the Commander Cookout Media Group, where we've taken on other creators, much like Dam is doing.
Yeah.
And we've got like the casual, fun, beer drinking, partying kind of brand that we built.
Very cool, Brad.
But we've also got like the history of Magic the Gathering. We've got a podcast for that. We've got a video and audio podcast for the competitive side of Magic the Gathering, card games, like nerd stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we collectively, people from all over Canada and all over the United States, and we've had people from the UK and from Sweden
So cool how
come
big it is.
overseas to come to some of the biggest gaming conventions in the world, like Las Vegas, Chicago. Anaheim got canceled during COVID, so we didn't get to go to that one, but Minneapolis last year and all over Canada. And this weekend is Vancouver. It's
Yes.
called Command Fest Vancouver. And we are working with the showrunner, I guess. They run the Canadian tour. They're called Face to Face Games.
I've heard of them
Biggest,
from your podcast.
yeah, biggest online trading card game retailers in the country.
Huge.
And they're partnered with Wizards of the Coast, the creators of Magic,
Whoa.
to do, Wizards of the Coast is what they're named. And they're actually a
cool.
subsidiary of Hasbro Incorporated. So they're a publicly
Heard of
traded
them.
company.
Yeah.
Because money.
Of course.
Right? So we're partnered with Face to Face, not any of those other guys. And we go and run the creator booth where
That's
other
so cool.
creators and cosplayers and people that do trivia and games with like giant oversized Magic trading cards. And we go and we're part of all of that.
When you talk about your business daddies,
Yep.
maybe touch on that for a second, because we have a bunch of
Yeah.
business daddies as we grow here, but you guys always find a very cool way to talk about the people that support you, be it
Yeah.
face-to-face or Fusion or all these
Yep.
people that have sort of backed you,
For sure.
and maybe give them some love as you guys continue to
you
grow.
know what? This could be like its own thing. I would love to sit down with whether it be you or the producers and make this its own piece of content where we talk about how to become a producer or a creator or a podcaster or a
Yes.
YouTuber, right? And even have a little bit of a curriculum that we can build. Shout out to any of the teachers out there that are
Yes.
interested in like digital media curriculums.
Mr. Gall from Evan Hardy, we love you.
I
That's
know
my
that you
dude.
just did a piece
Love
on
him.
that, and
Yes.
you got pretty passionate
Got a
about
little
like
too-
media
a little
media
too fired
programs.
up. I
But-
don't like how people try to take away the very thing that's growing more than anything else in the world, and your best opportunity to do stuff like this.
Yeah, and our studio is an example of it. A
Yes.
digital, like sort of like on-demand media, right?
Totally.
So Brando and I do this a little bit, and part of how we do it in a way that doesn't make it feel like a
Yes.
commercial and an
That's the
advertisement
one.
and an advertisement
Sweet spot.
is called baking it in. And you would call it a live read. That's what they call it on the
Yes,
radio,
in the
right?
biz, yeah.
And baking it into a piece of YouTube content is how we do it, where in conversation, we just say, hey, if you wanted to save some money on that, where would you go? FusionGamingOnline.com.
Boom.
And you use the promo code, and that's a way, that's called affiliate marketing.
Love it.
The affiliate gets a percentage of the sale of whatever somebody bought when they use the promo code that we push on the show.
And that's sort of like with our good friend Uncle Mike and his good team over at Uncle Mike's Naturals.com.
Yep.
They gave us a promo code
There
to
you
help
go.
people buy over the weekend. And a bunch of the people from this very network were rushing over there to get some stuff for Mom before Mother's Day.
I don't
So the
remember
Dam-
what's the
Dam
promo
20
code?
was the code.
Dam 20.
Dam 20. But Uncle Mike's here now as he's a part of our team.
Yep.
He's here every Tuesday, and I think we're going to have a new promo code each week for
Yep.
you to use as
Yep.
we talk about those. and again, so much more, because one of his, and this just lets you know what kind of guy Uncle Mike is. He said, like, dude, I don't want to go on and just, be like pushing my products. That's not who I am. I said, I know that's not who you are. You're one of my oldest friends, and you're our punk rock music guy. So he comes on and we talk about the Dayglow show coming in here, and we talk about all these punk rock concerts that he's always at. So he's not just Uncle Mike from Uncle Mike's All Natural Products. He's also our music Mike.
Yeah, any of those punk rock bands stopping into the Damn Studio Lounge over there?
That's what we're talking about. We're trying. As it looks like come probably end of June, we'll have our first bands stopping as we continue to try to make this thing grow.
Sick.
Getting back to this, and
Yes.
I don't want to not acknowledge. Is that how you say it? I don't want whatever it is.
I don't want to not. Yes,
Uncle
I don't
Brando.
want to not
Uncle
use
Brando.
two negatives.
That's it. See, wording is talks for me when I do stuff.
Yep.
Uncle Brando. I talk about this dude all the time. And
Yep.
just when we're talking about where your podcast came from and all that, I remember because I trained Uncle Brando back at the old place, and we fell in love the instant his texting alert was just the sound of Mega Man dying. He was like,
Yeah.
very unique sound. I was like, dude, Mega Man? He goes, yeah, you like Mega Man? I'm like, bro. And then right in my head, I was like, I need to work with this guy, because this is a guy that I love so much. And when Uncle Brando was telling me about these trips that you guys would go on to Vegas, like you said, Chicago, all these incredible conventions, I've always been a guy who wants to make it to a Comic-Con of some sort. We have the local ones here, which are fantastic. Shout out to the Prairie Pop Culture Celebration.
Oh, yeah.
May 25th in Prince Albert.
That's coming to PA. I forgot to tell
That's
my
your old
sister
home.
about it. Oh,
Yeah,
she lives
your
in
hometown.
PA. Yes,
But
yes.
it is coming up May 25th. So with that in mind, maybe just tell everyone how cool Uncle Brando is, because I feel like he's one of the most,
Yeah, I want to talk about
interpreted
Uncle
humans.
Brando, and I want to roll that back into the convention talk,
Yes,
because you've never
thank
been,
you.
and I know a lot of people who you tell me are watching Damn.
Mhm.
I don't think that they're the kind of person that goes to conventions, because they're nerdy, sweaty, neckbeard, butt crack, stink
It's all
fest,
of us, yeah.
right?
That's literally
but,
today.
But the
we're
nerds
thinking
have
it up.
won. The nerds have won. They're
We're
all
cool
rich. They
again.
work for NASA and shit.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, so Uncle Brando, he snubs me on the floor of this game store one time, and we all know the story. And I get invited to play Magic the Gathering cards at some guy's house, and it ends up being dang old Uncle Brando. And we hit it off like the first day, and
He's
just
so
became
kind.
friends because he is kind. Like his kindness knows no bounds, because he's so naive of the world. He thinks the world is a good place.
It's like me. You said we're the exact same person. I'm just like a little bit taller and less goblin-y than he is.
Yes,
Yeah.
very goblin-y. He's the best looking goblin I ever met. though,
Easily.
tell you
If
that
I
much.
was to ever hook up with a goblin, he'd be the one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'd make a good goblin too.
Yeah,
Well, they got the hair.
'cause I'm crouching and
Got a sore neck.
I got all the bad parts of goblining for sure.
So Uncle Brando is the other half of Commander Cookout podcast. Now that we're Commander Cookout Media Group
Yeah, what's
as a whole,
his title with the media group?
head of decklist procurement for Commander Cookout Enterprises.
I love that.
Yes.
Such
So,
a mouthful.
Uncle Brando, when we go to like a gaming convention, usually we're working with a group like Face to Face, and Fusion is another partner with the Canadian Magic, like semi-pro funnel to the Pro Tour. And when we go to a Magic Con, they're called, like a Vegas, Chicago, Minneapolis. Those are the last three cities we were at. Usually we've got some combination of a media pass or a creator pass, and we share those, or we get one that whatever. This time he had, in Chicago in February, he had a creator pass, which gives him a time slot at their big creator central and gives him a whole bunch of free product to give away. And people come and we sign cards and play mats and stuff. And people have like these passport books at conventions. This is a common thing at conventions. You go around to different retailers,
Kind of like
creators.
Folk Fest type of thing?
Yeah. And of course, the goal is to go to these different artists, pay them to sign your book, buy stuff from these retailers, and they stamp your book. Come to creators, and you have to subscribe to my content. I'll sign your book, right? So he had that, and he really takes charge of playing with people and interacting through gaming, and really with the people around him that are part of CCO Nation, we call them, demonstrating kind of the culture of our content and our community. And that's really when I came on board with Damn, what I wanted to to cultivate is that real sense that we are a group of people that anybody can be welcome to join.
right.
Because I knew Brando wasn't going to be as involved as I was, right? When I go to these conventions, I do more of like the media stuff. I'm talking with
You're the
the
businessman.
Wizards of the Coast employees to see how we can implement some of their ideas from their big cons to our Canadian ones. And I'm networking with other creators and doing crossover content and interviews and stuff like that. But as a whole, everybody walks in and you got to wear your media or your pass, your convention badge
show it
thing.
off, yeah.
And there's cosplayers, boys, girls, all ages. And there's like pro players in their own benched off area that's got like the gantry lights and it's
so
music and
cool.
smoke machines. It
Yeah.
looks like the World Series of Poker. That's what it looks
That's
like.
badass.
And guys are playing like at the World Championships in Vegas every year. Guys are playing for like 500 grand.
That's a lot of cake.
Right? And there's different styles of tournaments. Imagine poker. You can play like the draw 5 kind, Texas Hold'em kind, or then you can play blackjack, rummy, Kaiser, crazy eights, like
Kaiser, I miss
all these
Kaiser.
different kinds of games using a bicycle card deck. Right?
Just like that.
And Magic the Gathering's the same way. So you got people that are over here trying to qualify for the Pro Tour like day 2.
Cool.
You've got people over there that are trying to like get their winning in to get a Pro Tour invite. And
what
then
about
you've got
the guys like me that just want to learn?
you come and play Commander with us. That's a
There
different format. It's called Commander. It's like where the
Awesome.
casual neck breather or mouth breather, neck beard guys play. Neck breather. Yeah, mouth breathers.
That's me.
And these they got food at them and vendors everywhere, and you can get like the coolest, oldest, craziest, and most expensive gaming stuff, right?
Love
like
it.
old stuff, like people usually play on play mats, and they look like big mouse pads. But
Dude,
they,
you got
they-
a couple customized ones for your sidewalk slam.
Yeah, they make it easy to pick cards up off the table. Like a poker table's
Yeah,
kind of squishy.
totally. That
That's what
felt-
these are like,
yeah.
but you can roll them up and take them with you.
Really cool.
And when you go to these events, like I saw some Gulf War era, like 1992 playmats that Wizards of the Coast made and sent overseas to like
For the guys to
to like
play,
the U.S.
the
Marines and
troops,
stuff.
yeah.
And I saw like Swarovski crystal studded Magic card test sheet. Not even the cards, the test sheet. $750,000 for these Magic cards, right? So you get to see all this crazy stuff. And my favorite part is like telling people, look at my media pass, I take these pictures, whatever, right? And I send it to my wife and say, look what I just got.
And what's her response?
She's kind of caught on. So I've been
Aw.
doing it with stuff that's like not like $100,000 anymore. I'll send her a picture of like a $2,000 Magic card, or I'll be holding like 10 $1,000
I've
Magic
seen the
cards.
pictures. It's true.
And be like, hey, check this out, man. I've been looking for this forever.
I'm coming home. with
Uncle
some cake.
Brando found it at a vendor. I'll make a story to make her believe it, right?
Yeah. Well, and then being a wife, it's like, oh my God, you can't be doing that. It's like, honey,
Yeah.
chill. I'm bringing home the diamond encrusted one.
Yeah,
right?
just for you.
Just for
we're gonna
you.
cut it up and put it into a ring.
That's so sweet.
And she'd be like, well, okay, I guess if I get a big ring out of it.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to get to the names here before
Oh,
we
yeah.
start wrapping things
Yeah.
up. Rusty Tom Jones.
Trom Jones.
Rusty Trom Jones.
We're not going
which
to talk
is
about
play
what
on
a
Tom
rusty
Jones.
trombone
No,
is.
because this is the kids show.
Yeah, if anybody wants to Google that, make sure safe search is off, but your parents are around. That's the best advice.
That's the way to
Give
do
for
it.
that.
Hilarious. But
So-
the nicknames, how do the nicknames come about when people...
Yeah. Okay. So we don't do the advertising and the live reads and get
Yes.
the local businesses on board, because everything that we do, like 90% of what we do is consumed outside of Canada, United States and
crazy.
abroad, Australia, Europe, not Canada.
Yes.
So local advertisers are hard for us to like land, right?
Okay.
So we use a third party funding client called Patreon.
Patreon,
And-
that's
and-
what I was trying to think
And this is when
Yeah. You keep going.
when
It's all good. We can see it up there. HDMI, that's a good
Oh
that's good
yeah,
business.
yeah.
We've had that laptop going off. Don't get sidetracked. You
We-
got this.
Yeah,
Patreon.
we got this. Patreon. Yeah. So when grandmas and aunties and stuff ask me like, how do you make money? Patreon is a way that online creators can monetize their content. And
There we go.
essentially what you do is you make Patreon exclusive stuff or give Patreon perks to people who pledge maybe a monthly amount or a per episode amount.
Okay.
Patreon.com/Commander Cookout is ours.
There it is. I was waiting
slash
for the push.
C-
There's the
slash
push.
CCO podcast is ours. And people go on there, and when they become a patron, we get a notification and they get an automatic invite to our online Discord server.
Discord. That's what I wanted to figure. What the hell is a Discord?
Discord is a social platform, but you have to be invited to a channel, right?
Okay.
Like we could have a DAM Discord that we can invite all of the people that work for DAM in. There's a Commander Cookout Discord. There's a Magic the Gathering Discord, and like 100,000 people are in that one.
That's crazy.
In the Commander Cookout one, it's got like 200 people, right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
We heard an uh-oh.
we heard
it's
an
a
uh-oh.
blackout.
I'm
We
gonna
got a
keep
blackout.
going.
Keep going.
I'm
Can
gonna
we
keep
go
going.
If we go to, yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Work that camera. Yeah.
In the Commander Cookout Discord, when you get in your automatic invite from Patreon,
Yes.
your name comes up. Hey, welcome to this thing, blah, blah, blah. Something like Gary is new. He's here. And everybody like gives people the middle finger
That's it.
pictures.
Yes. It's a wild party.
It's
in
a
there.
wild party when somebody new comes in
Yeah.
because they know if they're here to support Commander Cookout, they must be a good person.
That's it.
So we shout them out on the show.
Oh, do you ever?
And it
those
started-
shoutouts are awesome.
It started by just being like hey, thanks. Let's do a funny thing for this guy's name.
Yeah.
But it turned into like, hey, I want my nickname.
So who makes up the names? This is what I want to know. Who's the brainchild behind all these incredible names like Rusty Trump Jones?
Brando and I do it together.
Okay.
Sometimes it's on the spot, like live on the
so
show.
Funny, yeah.
And sometimes it's like, hey, like, what are we going to do for this name? Like, it's like James Smith, like the most regular name ever. Sometimes
Gotta
it's
make
that.
it spicy.
Sometimes you get sometimes you get a gift. And the guy's name is Rusty Jones. And it's like, okay, Rusty, that's already funny. That's already funny if you're familiar with like internet, like online speak, what Rusty means.
Yes.
Urban Dictionary, Google Rusty.
Yeah,
Or search Rusty.
Yeah. And
And
you had a trombone in
trombone in there. You're gonna look it up. Don't do it on the pictures. Just do it with the words.
And even with you guys, when you're like trying to figure out which one's the trombone, is that the big one like
Yeah,
this? Is
yeah,
it- no,
yeah.
no, it's,
So-
I'm in the booth like slider. It's the slider
So,
one.
yeah, sometimes they're just so organically funny. Like we had one a couple weeks ago, Jock Slap,
There it is.
and I
Love
don't even
that.
remember what his real name was. I don't even remember what his real name
You
was.
just dock slap.
But
That's it.
his nickname ended up being Jock Slap.
Man,
And
do you have any personal favorite?
oh man,
But I hate to put you on the spot.
Jock Slap, I laughed so hard
That's
at
a great
because it was just like the progression of the name was just so organic and so funny. Rusty Trom Jones has got to be one of the best ones that we've
Definitely
ever
the
made.
one
And the guy's
that you
name's
most
Brad,
talk about.
But his online pseudonym, he's like, oh yeah, that's my name I use online when like I get stuff sent to my house.
Like, come on.
yeah, Rusty Jones or whatever. I'm like, what?
That's unbelievable.
We've got ones that like morphed over time.
Nice.
We've got one. There's a guy named something Diekler. So we
Diekler.
called him the Deech.
The D-
But then his buddy signed up, and his name was like some do something, and we called him the Dooch.
The Deech and the Dooch.
Deech and the Dooch.
Deech and the Dooch.
Yeah. So one
Sounds
time
like a
we're in. Oh man, I don't even remember where we were. Maybe we're in Vancouver again or somewhere, and they came up and they were like, "Hey, we're the Deech and the Dooch," and it was like we
That's
knew them
full
our
circle.
whole life,
Well, yeah,
right?
You,
Like
you named them, man. Like, it's like a bunch of your children.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So that's, man, I admire that so much.
that was such a
you've been
long-winded
building
way
that.
of saying like community building in a place that doesn't foster a good community like relationship
it.
structure like the internet,
Yes.
especially when people are coming into your community or when people aren't super familiar with like my grandma thinks like forums and chat rooms online are where predators like try and lure kids to parks.
That's still
right?
the vibe it has for a lot of people, like you say.
Yeah, exactly. So if we can demonstrate through our content that this could be like a piece of content that you like is informative, entertaining, etc. Safe for your
Very
kids or your
important, yeah.
family. Not that Commander Cookout is kid friendly, but all of our other content is.
Yes.
Then you come in and you see that there's a whole bunch of people that are just like the hosts that you like,
That's the one right
and they're just like you. And that's how a community starts to get built. Think of like your whatever club you go to, or like snowmobile club, or your horse racing club, your golf club, your your church, like
All of it, man.
any of those communities
It's
start
your
with
family.
a
These are your
common-
families outside of your real
yeah,
family.
common
They become
interest
your
in
family.
in a
Yes.
same thing.
And that's what we're doing here. And this is why I want you to talk about that, because as we continue to grow, we want everyone to be a part of this and to know that you're always welcome here as we, again, try to make the world a better place. That's
There we go.
$100. Look at that.
Again and again and again. There we go.
Those are
You
yours.
should-
See, it's when I
you
do
should
them.
see all the check marks.
This is coming in hot. Again, one more for you. Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. SaskatoonFoodBank.org is where you can go if you want to be a part of the citywide food drive, as it is oh so important and one of those things that for the rest of, like I told Lori and I told Deb, I said, guys, any event you need someone for, I'm your guy. Like I
There
say
you
it all
go.
the time. I got the big four. I got the Fire in the Kitchen cook-off, and I got the Spirit of Cosmo breakfast, and I got the Elmwood Fall Feast, and whatever the food bank needs. Those are my big four, and I don't need any monetary anything. I say I'm just coming there and let's do this stuff and let's make it happen. I'm always here for you. So to get someone like Lori, who's like
Yep.
executive director, like she's a big deal.
Oh wow.
And for her to find the time for a couple minutes to come on here and be like, yeah, we love you, Gary, and we love what you're doing, and we're proud to be a part of this, and to get her in studio on Thursday and things like that, it just means the world to me personally, because all I ever wanted for this place was to be able to help our friends and those people that, I hate to use the term deserve, but those people that show how much they care
Yeah.
to the point where
How do-
it's so easy for you to become a part of it.
How do I get to be called executive director? The damn executive director. And you
We
make
could.
it sound like derogatory. My damn executive director.
I don't know. That's a great question. We can ask her here when she's here on Thursday, as I think it is time to wrap it up.
Yeah, hey,
and what,
you know what?
What a show it's been.
Frankie's fingers?
Frankie's fingers. You want to play it out?
Can we finger and talk at the same time?
There it is. I can hear it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to do one last shout out. If anybody likes the vibe and wants to listen, they can just listen by
Audio.
searching up your show with Gary Nickel on any podcasting app. Like
all those
Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, if that still exists, all that stuff. That's a great thing to remind people of, that they don't have to check in the live stream and you shut your phone like onto blank or onto black, and then the YouTube show shuts off. Podcasts don't do that.
And I promised you, and I want to apologize to you personally right now, that I would talk more about the audio and how we go about doing this. So the very first show, since I said that to you on Saturday, I didn't mention it once, and I have to be more aware
I
that
gotcha.
for people listening, not watching, Brenda says, which you should be.
Well, the
See, you'll
the
humor that.
Phenom Noah, I don't know how the actual video is going to end up, but for a minute there, we did cut to all black on all the
this is
screens,
what I mean.
everybody.
We
so-
had a bunch of gremlins going on there. This is, again, when LB's not here, $110. When LB is not here, stuff always tends to just go wonky.
Yeah.
So, but we always power through. So to Noah, thank you, my friend, filling in last second and getting us on the air. I always say, just get us on the air. That's all we care about here as we keep getting reps in. Thank you to you, and to you, Network Ryan. Thank you for co-hosting today. You're an incredible man. We're going to miss you when you head off to Vancouver, but we will be talking and zooming from there. So
yeah, get the Uncle Brando Zoom going.
Yeah, it's gonna
He'll
be
be
wild.
walking around
On the
looking,
floor.
pretending he doesn't know where he is. All of a sudden, he'll be in like a bathroom.
like, I don't know where I am, guys.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great. So great content from him. And to everyone else, thank you for being a part of this incredible journey we are on. We will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Until then, have the most incredible Monday of your life. And remember to do nice things. And nice things start happening to you. Yes. I'm not going to get too sappy. Take care. Have a great night. We did it. Maggie, we did it.